Hey Virgo, how's it going everyone? Welcome to Blue Mountains Tarot. We're going to do your reading for the second half of April. These are general readings. Please keep that in mind. Only take messages that may resonate. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, you can contact me below in the description box to set that up. And thank you so much everybody for hitting the like, share, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment if you'd like. And thank you for anybody who's here supporting the channel. I appreciate it. All right, Virgo, what's going on with you guys? Second half of April. What's the message for Virgo? What is going on with Virgo? Okay. Definitely, temperance with the Knight of Pentacles. Sometimes it might be worth waiting for, there could be that famous old stay patient, which not everybody loves to hear, but patience there for things it's going to take time for something here to kind of settle into place for you, Virgo. Sometimes I feel like that's kind of saying, it might be worth waiting for something that is more secure versus just taking what comes up first, Let me just get a little bit more on that though. 3 of Cups, okay. 4 of Cups, okay. There could be a person here as well who's trying to there could be something here around connecting with somebody or reconnecting with somebody. I feel like it can kind of go either way. 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups. I think somebody here is a little bit hesitant or apprehensive about approaching the situation. It could be a Sagittarius you're dealing with, Virgo. But I feel like, they want to make you an offer. They want to approach you. They want to get in touch with you. But they're kind of trying to keep a positive outlook, saying, hey, maybe we could be friends. Maybe, something good might come from this if I try to approach Virgo. But, they may not realize that you may not respond. You may not accept this offer. You may not want to reconnect with this person. I feel like you're sort of hoping at this time, or you're okay with that they're, at a distance, that they're not necessarily in touch with you or in communication. But I feel like this person, let me just take a look here. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles with this other individual. Again, maybe that's part of waiting for the right thing rather than settling in a way. 3 of Swords. Yeah, this person's heartbroken. Virgo, somebody here is, having a difficult time accepting, or, they would like to reconnect. They would like to try to come forward, try to see what might come of this. But I think that they realize that they've disappointed you in a sense, in some aspect, with that 4 of Cups. And that you may not want to connect. You may not want to talk to this person anymore. But the Temperance is also a card of healing. And it's a card of allowing things to kind of... I feel like there's a bit of forgiveness in that energy of the Temperance in that card. Tell me about Temperance. Could be this person if it's a Sagittarius. Queen of Wands. I don't know how forgiving a Queen of Wands is, but I feel like this person hasn't lost the passion for you. This person really wants to try to show up in a different way. I think they realize that in the past, one of the things, there's a thing around maybe boredom. I don't know if that's the right word, but kind of like somebody who doesn't show up to the situation, who doesn't have that passion, who's very slow to respond, very unreactive. You couldn't get a reaction out of them, I feel like this person is trying to come forward with a little more confidence. They may not have had a lot of confidence. For some of you, what may have caused a breakup here would have been a third party. That's not going to be for everybody, obviously, but there could be third party energy there. That was really one of the reasons. How's this person feeling towards Virgo? Five and five. Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. They know they've done something very difficult here, that they've really this person's torn here, Virgo, because I feel like they've done something to cause damage in this connection, that they know that they made you struggle. They know that they made something very difficult for you. They know they caused harm. They know that, or they realize like they're trying to come back with a different approach, but there's something about this person that it's like they may have made you struggle on purpose, like a revenge or a spiteful. There could have been jealousy issues there. And I think they know that they may not be deserving of you. They may not be deserving of returning here. They may feel like you're going to refuse that offer. Four of Cups, Five of Pentacles. You might sort of say, you know, it's like a little bit of like not spiteful back to them, but making them experience or feel what it was like, what they put you through, kind of thing, by refusing, by rejecting, rather, by not accepting what they have to offer. Energy from Virgo's side on this. What's energy from Virgo? Ace of Cups. You've moved on already. Okay. Ace of Cups. The Hermit. Okay, there's you, Virgo. Okay. So possibly for a cross watcher, that's possibly why this refusals happen. Your feelings towards them, your feelings towards this situation. There's you, Virgo. You found new love. You've moved on. And that could be a part of the Queen of Wands energy, where you finally kind of taken action here to move on. I think that they didn't, you didn't, there's no waiting around here. So somebody here didn't, sorry, the shakes. Somebody here didn't wait around, Virgo. You've left. You may have, like, Virgo Hermit. Let me see. Nine of Swords. It was very stressful for you, Virgo, to leave this person in a way. Like, even though something wasn't working out here, I feel like a lot of stress and anxiety as to, you know, having that person on your mind, still wondering. Even though something didn't work here, there was still maybe a sense of like, will things change, or whatever that anxiety was about you letting go and moving on. But you found love here. You found something new. Ace of Cups. Tell me about the new beginnings for Virgo. For many of you, this person may not actually come around because they've realized and found out that you have found somebody else. Ace of Cups for Virgo. What else? The Devil. Ooh, okay. Unless you connected with a Capricorn, you may... The High Priestess. That's very strange here. One sec. Why the Devil? Did you connect with somebody here, Virgo, without them knowing? Is this somebody from the past, maybe? What's the Devil? Could be a Capricorn. Seven of Wands. Some of you moved on very quickly, but I want to say it like this, okay? You didn't share this with them, but it was almost like a backup plan. I feel like somebody had a bit of a second option, a backup plan. They kind of hid the fact that they had another attachment to go to. Now, whether this is coming out for you, so some of you may have stayed very quiet. That could have been part of the stress, because something else wasn't necessarily completely finished, let's say, or it was still kind of, it had some fresh energy there, but you had already had like something lined up, is kind of what I get. I feel like you're sort of coming from a place of saying, I'm going to take care of what I want to do, even if it's not necessarily what you would feel very comfortable doing. Let's say the devil might have a little bit of guilt attached to it. There could be a little bit of just the need to find love because it was lacking in this past connection. More about the High Priestess. This is Pisces. I feel like this is where they didn't know. It's like they didn't know you had kind of a secondary option. It might have been somebody that you kept in the background or you knew about, but you never, it's not like you cheated or anything. Possibly someone did here with the Three of Swords, Three of Cups, but it's kind of like you may have had your eye on somebody that you... Tell me about the High Priestess. Page of Swords. Is this attached to love somewhere else? The Hierophant. Yeah, there's like something here about commitments from somebody else. It's like this is two people who are both connecting, but not necessarily telling the other parts, the other halves, that this is... It feels like two people in a similar situation that are both exiting a situation, but they have... It was like a quick replacement. Because the Page of Swords tells me that we're talking to somebody else, either not sharing, but also who may also be in a marriage or a commitment. So it's like we're covering up a little bit of a secret here. We're covering up with that Seven of Wands. We're not sharing this dirty little secret, if you will, about kind of establishing something else. Maybe what would have come across as a little bit premature before ending something else. So there's like commitments are attached, but somebody's moved on with new love. This is kind of strange energy, guys. But I feel like there's something here that they maybe knew that this was not working out. They maybe knew that this was going to be done, so they might as well move on and find, or they just happened to find, or they happen to have another connection that kind of sat in the background, that they kind of preserved until they were ready to pursue that. So I don't want to say you did it in a way that was, it's to each his own. You're approaching something the way you want to do this, but it may have come across with a little bit of secrecy or not letting this person know, because it's kind of like your intention, you were gonna do what you kind of wanted to do here, or you were gonna I feel like there's two people that are still in commitments in a sense. Tell me about the Hierophant. Taurus. Tell me about the Hierophant for Virgo. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, so somebody here is trying to get out of a commitment. There's somebody here who is feeling stuck in a situation, and I don't want to say you guys both save each other, but you both seem to be on a similar situation where you're like, let's both take off together and flee kind of thing. It's somebody here that's overwhelmed and feeling trapped in a situation that they're committed to, but they want to be set free from. I feel like the energy of that is like somebody who wants to be set free, somebody who wants their freedom back, or they want a new beginning. Page of Swords. I feel like there's something about there's a committed person here, if not two people on the same page. Tell me what the Ace of Cups, the new love here with Virgo. What are we at? 15 minutes. The Judgment. Okay, so there could be, this feels like it's the decision that you went with. It feels like it, even though it may not have lined up in it's the right decision for you. There could be somebody here who is going through some kind of divorce or separation in the process of this in order to pursue new love. And I feel like the ultimate kind of message here is that we have somebody that we had to wait for to finally kind of maybe consider the process or consider the option of getting to know and move in a new relationship. But we were kind of tied up in other situations at the time that were not necessarily working. It was probably not very healthy. There's a little or a lot of heartache there and separation with the Three of Swords. Virgo, I think you made the call here to walk away, to let it go, to pursue the new love, even though maybe somebody else that you were connecting with, this new person, may have also been going through their own separation or something along their marriage, their situation, because they were feeling sort of trapped. It's almost, again, what I want to say about like the positive of this with that Ace of Cups and the Judgment, if love is meant to be together, it can work in very mysterious ways. It can work in very unconventional, or it can work in very weird dynamics. And so it's almost like the two of you were living your lives, yet maybe both of you energetically were not very happy in the situation that you were in. You somehow crossed paths. You somehow had some kind of an attraction, but you couldn't do anything about it because of, say, marriage or commitment or relationship that somebody is really wanting to get out of. But the two of you, and it could have been very, like, the devil, like, there could have been some toxicity on either side of that, like it could have been like, we're both not in these happy, or we're both in toxic situations, but it's not so easy to leave and just move forward. So you had to it's like you had your eye on each other, but Virgo, you remained very, within yourself or quiet. You remained like, when is this going to happen? I think it gave you some anxiety about, is that person still going to be available when you are, like you had this, it's like put it on layaway. And I hate to sound like that, but it just feels like there's a possibility with someone, but it has to be done in the future when all this other stuff is resolved, and you're both kind of mirroring the same scenarios or similar situations. Again, I think the Temperance at the very top here is kind of saying like, the healing has to take place. Things will fall into place when they're meant to. Things will fall into balance when they're meant to. The Ace of Cups, the Judgment, it's sometimes you don't, it's kind of like life is making this decision for you, or it's pushing you in that way, because it's like that is what was supposed to happen, even though you may have felt like you were maybe betraying or not doing it the right way, or you felt maybe was it too soon. But it's the way it lined up for you that life was saying, well, it wasn't ideal, but the two of you have to meet. The two of you have to be together. The two of you have a bond or a contract or a lesson with each other now. So, somebody here also knew that somebody wasn't happy in their marriage. That High Priestess looking into that Hierophant and the Eight of Swords with the Page of Swords. I feel like somebody is like, I know you're not happy in your marriage. I can see it in your online presence, maybe in something to do with their social media. It kind of shows that somebody's not really in a place that, and that's where you may have picked up the cue, or you've picked up information that you didn't tell anybody, but in the back of your head, you're like, I'm probably going to connect with that person because we have a connection, but we're trying to keep it like, you know, do this properly. We're trying to do this in an ethical as you can. But again, Judgment, Ace of Cups, I feel like the decision was made to put this new person, new emotions, new love in front of you, or, you know, any advice for this whole situation? There's the World. Any advice for Virgo? This is kind of a weird reading, guys. I don't know if that makes sense, but you guys can share in the comments if you feel. You've got Taurus, Pisces, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Hermit, obviously, Virgo. What's the healing advice for this newer connection for Virgo? What is the healing advice for this situation? The Six of Cups. Okay. So it's kind of like you may have known this person from the past. It's almost like inevitable that you can't cross paths with this person. You already maybe knew them. It wasn't that you necessarily seeked out a brand new person by going online or whatever, but you kind of knew this person from your past, or you knew them through the workplace, or you know, this isn't somebody that, it's kind of saying to, I also feel like you have to find your own joy here. You have to find the joy within yourself, within your situation. And I feel like there's clarity on this. The Magician. You can't control the past. I feel like this is saying you can't control sometimes in life how things occur, how you find people, how you cross paths, how love finds love. It can happen in very difficult situations and very trying. It could try you, it could test you, it could test your honesty, it could test a lot of things here. So I feel like there's something that you know, sometimes it's like the Magician does perform magic. He can be controlling, manipulative, but I don't think that's what this is. I feel like it's saying sometimes things take place when the healing has occurred, when somebody has changed, and it was the past that came forward to manifest what it was for you. The Judgment with the Ace of Cups, the Magician manifesting, coming into fruition. So this feels very, it's just a very unique situation, but it's a little complicated. It's a little difficult. There's disappointments here. And I think you're definitely letting go of the past. Okay, also, make sure you've let go of the past. I forgot about, it's almost like I forgot about this other person that might be trying to come back to you, Virgo. You might be in the same, you're like, oh, I forgot. I'm happy. I'm in love. I found what I want. There was no mistakes in this process. So you may be forgetting, and I think, you know, you've created the outcome that was supposed to happen for you. There's a bit of like fate almost with that Judgment. It's putting all the past behind you. Putting the past behind you, Six of Cups. Because something else has kind of magically, in a way, it's like unexpectedly showed up, happened, crossed paths at the right time, put it on hold. When the time is right, we'll reconnect. Okay? I'm gonna do this card here for you guys, the well-being cards, Abraham, teachings of Abraham Hicks. Let's see, what is the message for Virgo? It's like, sorry, I just need to go back here again. Some of you already knew this person, and when you got to know each other, in the back of your head, you kind of thought like, I know I'm going to be in touch with this person. I know there's something there. You knew. but you didn't say anything because you're like, well, I'm supposed to be here, where you were. But I feel like you knew when you met this person, something sparked. My happiness is my greatest gift to others. Selfishly seek joy, because your joy is the greatest gift you can give to anyone. Unless you are in your joy, you have nothing to give anyways. So this could be, I was saying joy in the Six of Cups, the magician, manipulative, selfishly. Maybe that's a bit of the selfishly you seeked what you needed to do because that's what you need to. This is the high priestess saying, this is what I want. This is kind of like for my well-being. I'm looking out for myself. Okay? Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that resonates. Thank you guys for all of your like, share, subscriptions, and comments. Have a great day, Virgo. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.